In this video, I'm going to go over some things that I've absolutely loved about Oshawa, so those looking to move here have a better idea of some of the positives or the things that I've really enjoyed, and I'll go through and I'll share my experiences and the things that I've really loved, and we're going to get into it right after this. Hey, what's going on? It's Brad Gates and I'm a local realtor here in the Oshawa area. This channel is all about what it's like to live here in the Durham region. I cover off areas like Oshawa, Ajax, Whitby, Pickering, but specifically these videos just help people that are looking to move to the Oshawa and surrounding area. I have families reaching out from all over the world and I absolutely love it. So if you're looking to move to or from Oshawa, all you have to do is call, text, email. You can send the carrier pigeon, whatever is easiest for you. And I'm here to make your move and relocation go so much easier. Let's get into the video and we'll start right now with our number one reason why I love Oshawa. The first thing that I've really loved about Oshawa was the fact that it wasn't as busy as other parts of the GTA. So I was born and raised in Brampton and I left Brampton in 2012 to move to Oshawa. And the biggest thing I noticed right off the bat was the traffic, the stores not being as busy. And that was a breath of fresh air for me when I came here, because it was just one of those things that I got tired of dealing with highway traffic and then getting off of the highway and then dealing with even more traffic on the connecting streets. Where with Oshawa, the traffic on the 401 might be bad, but once you get off the 401, it gets a little easier and it just doesn't feel as congested as other parts of the GTA. It used to be really good back in 2012 to about 2016. Then the population started increasing and traffic has gotten heavier, but it is nothing compared to other parts of the GTA where it doesn't matter what time you're driving. The busier streets are busy. Toronto, very heavy in traffic. Places like Brampton, Mississauga, you do not want to be driving during rush hour because all of the streets that go off of highways are just really busy. And the stores, that was another big thing that I noticed, is you could go shopping at 5, 6 o'clock on a weekday and you go to a Walmart or a Superstore, no frills, and the lineups aren't as bad as what I was used to. And I was used to, you go at these times and you try to avoid them because it's just so busy. Lineups are crazy. It's hard to maneuver through the aisles. Where with Oshawa, it wasn't quite like that. It's gotten busier now, so it's not like it was, but it's nothing compared to Brampton, Mississauga, Burlington, Oakville, where it's just the traffic has really increased. The stores are busy during those times, so you just try to avoid it altogether. The second thing that I really loved about Oshawa was how it has tons of parks and green space and trails. And those trails connect you to the north of Oshawa all the way down to the lake, which is nice if you're going for a long bike ride. I remember downtown Oshawa, they had some beer fest that me and my girlfriend, who's now my wife, we went to. We drove our bikes down there and it was like a 15-minute bike ride for us. We were living at Park in Roslyn and we had to go to pretty much Simcoe and King, like that main downtown core. And it was just nice to be able to bike there on a summer weekend. And we just had a lot of fun and it was nice to be able to bike ride back. It was a long bike ride on the way back because it was all uphill. Plus we've been having beers pretty much the whole day in the hot sun. So we weren't our best condition to be driving the bikes back uphill, but we survived, and it's a story that we love to tell people in terms of just some of those adventures that you go on to. The Lakefront has an amazing park that they've just kind of redone, plus the Waterfront. But outside of that, when we have to go for appointments and my wife will go in, I'll sit with the kids, and it doesn't matter pretty much where we are. There's a park that's kind of close by. So we're able to, instead of waiting in the van, we can actually just go to a park, and it just makes it nice that the parks are so popular and there's a lot of them pretty much spread throughout all of Oshawa. So it doesn't matter where you are, you can access a park pretty easily. And then Greenspace, same thing. There's just tons of green space around. And then if you go to the north or the far east of Oshawa, then you have different conservation areas, dog parks, all things that are nice to have. And I know all cities have those, but it's just Oshawa's was something that appealed to me because it just felt, it was a little bit more spread out. The third thing that we noticed was that people just seemed to be a little bit more friendly. Now, coming from Brampton, it was kind of, it got to the point where a lot of people, you would go into stores and stuff, and people wouldn't talk more than they had to. And when you came to Oshawa, it was just people seemed to have had a genuine interest. Population in Oshawa has increased a lot. I have noticed that's something that's changing, but it is still something that to this day, when you go to Oshawa, you do find that people tend to be friendlier, and it's just one of those things that is nice when you're going into these stores. You don't have to worry about rude customer service and stuff like that as much. It still happens, and I'm not saying that there's no bad customer service here, but it was just one of those things that I noticed seemed to have been a little bit better, and it was one of the things that I did really like about Oshawa. The fourth thing that I noticed that I really loved about Oshawa, and maybe this was just one of those things that pretty much when I was in Brampton, it was before its time, but I realized living in Oshawa that a lot of the neighborhoods that you would move into, they actually had Facebook groups that were kind of dedicated to those neighborhoods, more of like a neighborhood watch. I don't know if you ever remember that from the 90s, early 2000s, where you would see those signs posted in neighborhoods where Oshawa, and again, it could just be because the times had changed, but Oshawa had a lot of Facebook neighborhood groups. So when I was living at Park and Roslyn, there was the downtown Oshawa Facebook group. And then when I moved to Winfields, then there was the Winfields Facebook group, which was just good because anytime there was ever breaking and enters or there was something that was happening, you could go onto this group and somebody seemed to know a little bit more than you would have otherwise. And same thing like with break and enters or people breaking into cars, you would be notified. So it was just one of those things that you can be careful with so that you don't have your car broken into by leaving the doors unlocked. Happened to me. Luckily they didn't take anything. But again, the Facebook groups that you did notice here did tend to come in very helpful. So if you are moving to Oshawa and you move into a neighborhood, make sure you search those because it does come in very handy. And then same thing with neighborhood events and stuff like that. People will post it on there, and it's just good to give that strong sense of community that I've really noticed Oshawa was very good at. The fifth thing that I really loved about Oshawa, and to this day I still love it about Oshawa, is it seems to have anything that you could possibly need. And why I say that is because sometimes when you move to a city, they might not have certain stores, or you might have to go out of town for something, where what I realized with Oshawa is it had all of the major stores, and it doesn't matter kind of what you're looking for, you're very close to be able to attain that. And that's definitely a good thing when you're moving somewhere because you don't want to have to venture out too far if you're looking for something specific. It used to be pretty bad where any cultural foods that we were looking for, we couldn't really find it in Oshawa. But to this day, back in, sorry, not back in, but current day 2022, it's one of those things that Oshawa has everything that you would need. So you don't need to go outside of Oshawa pretty much for anything, which makes a very big difference. And it's not just the shopping, but in terms of activities for kids or sporting teams, pretty much anything that you're looking for, you can find that within Oshawa, which is a huge plus because like I said earlier, if you are moving here, you don't want to have to leave Oshawa to go look for specific things. The sixth thing that I absolutely love about Oshawa has to do with the Tribute Center. The Tribute Center is downtown Oshawa. It's on Athol Street, and that's where the Oshawa Generals OHL team actually play out of. Oshawa Generals has had Bobby Orr, it's had Eric Lindros, John Tavares. So they've had like a ton of famous NHL hockey players that actually played hockey in the OHL for the Oshawa Generals, but they didn't play at that arena. Well, John Tavares might have, but Eric Lindros, Bobby Orr, they played at a different one. But the Tribute Center, when the Generals are not playing, they have activities that, or shows or events that take place there. And so some of the ones that we have gone to there was been the Paw Patrol. Paw Patrol came here to do an event for kids. And then the Monster Truck. That's the most recent one that we went to. And it was an amazing experience. My son and daughter got to drive in a monster truck. We got to go and see the monster trucks up close. It was just really cool to see that Oshawa hosted an event like that. And they've had other ones over the years, like Price is Right actually went there. They have tons of concerts that take place there as well. So the Tribute Center is something that they host a lot of events. So if you're moving to Oshawa, it's definitely something that you're going to want to register on the Tribute website. That way you get notified each and every time people do actually do events there. The seventh thing that I really love about Oshawa has to do with tons of part-time and full-time jobs. And mainly it's because Oshawa is a university town, so they've had a lot of fast food, a lot of restaurants, a lot of grocery stores, that kind of stuff open up. In the downtown, you have the Ministry of Finance, you have General Motors, then you're close to the Ontario Power Generation, so the OPG plants, one in Clarington and then one in Pickering. And so there's just a lot of jobs here. Some of them are decent paying jobs, other ones are not, but it's just nice if you're coming here as a student that you do have a place that has a lot of available part-time jobs that are for students that are looking to make extra money while studying. And it's just one of the things that I get asked a lot when people are reaching out, and they always ask, like, you know, I'm coming there to study from India or China or Sri Lanka. How is the part-time jobs that are there? And it's just one of the things that I just wanted to comment that there are a lot of part-time jobs here. And it's just something that's very good for people who are looking to move here because it's something that you should probably be aware of because schooling is expensive, cost of living is expensive. So if you can get extra income, definitely good. The eighth thing that I really love about Oshawa has been how the food scene has changed. Oshawa, they've always had a lot of restaurants, but it wasn't a lot of different restaurants. So it was popular for pizza or pasta or takeout. And what you're seeing has happened with all of the new people that are moving to Oshawa is they're opening up different kinds of restaurants. So there are lots of sushi restaurants, lots of Indian restaurants, lots of Canadian restaurants, like just all the different restaurants that you could want to look for, you will see them. And it's something that's good. It's improved so much. And that's something that I'm really happy about because I like to try different kinds of foods. And if you are moving here, there's Facebook groups, again, dedicated. I think it's called Durham Region Food Reviews and Durham Region Eats. Those are two Facebook groups that you can join, and it will just keep you up to date with all the restaurants, good experiences, bad experiences. And it's just good if you're looking for something you want to try different. You can go on there, see what people have posted about, and it just makes it a lot easier in terms of deciding what you're going to want to eat that day. The ninth thing that I absolutely love about Oshawa has to do with Lakeridge Health and the health services that are here. And I've had people who have said that the Lakeridge Health Oshawa was not a good experience for them. And that's something that I have not shared those negative experiences with so far. And all three of my kids were born there, and we've had nothing but good things. The health services beyond that, like when my wife had the gestational diabetes, all three pregnancies, we had the dietitian that was available to us. Just everything was kind of within Oshawa or Whitby that we could go to, and we just got a lot of resources that were available to make the pregnancies easier. On top of that, our family doctor that we have here, we've had very positive experiences with that. We've been going to her since 2012. My wife actually found the doctor when she moved here early on, quite a little bit before I did. And it was just something where we've had no negative things to say about the health services that are in Oshawa. So if you're moving here and you need access to doctors, I have heard that it's hard to find a family doctor, but once you do, you will hopefully have positive experiences about that. If you do need to go to the hospital for anything, again, hopefully your experiences are as positive as ours has been, because it's something that we've been really happy with. All three of our kids were born in Oshawa, and it's something that we wouldn't have changed for the world. The 10th thing that I kind of love about Oshawa has to do with the nicknames. So it's the Swiggity Schwa, or the Dirty Schwa, or the Schwa. Those are all kind of the nicknames that, you know, I've heard. And the first time I ever heard of an Oshawa nickname was actually, I was living at Simcoe and Taunton, and I would commute to Mississauga, and I was doing this every day. So I would listen to the radio, and I would actually take part in all of their contests. And I actually won one time movie tickets. Another time I just won money. It wasn't a lot or anything, but I won. And the first time I got through, they asked like your name, where you from, and they were the first person. I forget, it was like Z103.5 or something like that. And he was the one that's like, oh, you're from the Dirty Schwa or something like that. And then I started hearing the other nicknames after that. But the nicknames, something that I kind of like because it does give Oshawa its uniqueness. Be better if you know, they would have positive nicknames, and they did for a little while when 2017, when things were getting crazy here the first time. Then you would hear North Oshawa be called Poshawa. So there's just different nicknames that you'll notice within Oshawa. Some are good, most of them are bad, but it's just something that I've grown to like a little bit. The 11th thing that I've really liked about Oshawa has been just how good it's been to my family. We lived in Oshawa from 2012 until 2019. We moved to Whitby just because of the Minto house we were in North Oshawa. With 3 months of moving there, we got an email from Minto. They did another release and it was in Whitby. And so like, we found a house we really liked and we ended up buying it. But it was one of those things that we might not have left Oshawa otherwise. And it was just a fluke thing. And I think it was just because we were frustrated living in a new home with no driveway, no grass. And so when we saw an opportunity to buy somewhere else, we did. All that did was prolong our living in a construction site because we moved into another new house. But Oshawa's been really good to the family. The houses that we've owned have all increased in value. I got married while living in Oshawa. I got engaged while living in Oshawa. My wife went to university here, got her university degree here as well. So it's just, Oshawa's done a lot of positive. So we've been married. I've had all 3 kids, again, like I said, in Oshawa. So it's just one of those things that Oshawa as a city has been really good to us. And that's something that I do remember, and I just like to share that with other people as well, because Oshawa does get a bad reputation, and rightfully so. There are things about Oshawa that aren't good, but this video isn't covering that. You can watch the other videos if you want to go over some of the negatives of Oshawa. But Oshawa has just been really good to my family, and that's something that I do absolutely love about it. The 12th thing that I love about Oshawa has to do with their rec services. So I currently live in Whitby, and pretty much all of the events that we actually do with our kids are out in Oshawa. And again, Whitby and Oshawa are really close to each other, so it's only between 10 and 15 minutes depending on which center we are going to. But kids do their swimming in Oshawa, they do their skating in Oshawa, and then one thing that is really good for people that are looking to move here with babies, or maybe you're pregnant, is they have the Ontario Early Years, which is just based towards events for babies. So it doesn't matter. There's different events for different age groups. My daughter is 2 months old now, and she's been going to the Early Years. It's once a week, and she's done that the last month. And it just helps expose her to other babies. They do activities based on age brackets. The rec services that are available for families or for kids are something that we really enjoy and love about Oshawa. The 13th and final thing that we love about Oshawa has to do with the lakefront. The lakefront in Oshawa is somewhere where they have the beach, they have a pier that you can walk to, they have a large dock where you'll see large ships come in every once in a while. They have the splash pad, they have a park, they have the waterfront trail. So they have a lot built up towards the waterfront. And then you'll have things on Canada Day where the city of Oshawa has major events that take place there. They have Rib Fest. So there's like all these different things that take place there. And it's just nice to have that to go to, because not all cities do have a waterfront that is, you know, where they host a lot of events. So it's something that we do really like about it. Well, that concludes the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to like it. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. That way you get notified each and every time I do post new videos. These videos are only to help families like you who are looking to move here by just giving you more information, showing you what it's actually like to be here. And especially when people are moving from out of Oshawa or out of the GTA and they've never even been to Oshawa before, these videos could help give you a lot of value in terms of finding out if Oshawa is the right place for you. I've lived here from 2012 until 2019. I currently live in Whitby, which is like right on the border of Oshawa. I have families reaching out from all over the world, and I absolutely love it. So if you're looking to move to or from the Oshawa area, be sure to call, text, email, send the carrier pigeon, whatever is easiest for you, and I'm here to make your move and relocation go so much easier. Thanks for watching, and until next time.